What's going on? It's Mei Holmes, the host of True Transitions, and on today's episode, we sit down with Grammy-winning gospel artist Jonathan McReynolds. From the south side of Chicago to now musician, author, label owner, and even professor. Jonathan's journey to his God-given purpose started way before he picked up his first guitar. Today, we discuss the man behind the music. The one and only John McReynolds, man.
Yes, sir.
Once again, bro, thank you for coming on the set today, man. I have wanted to have this conversation for the longest time. You know, we've been friends for a long time, and we've had some dope conversations. And I was like, the conversations that we have is just, it can help so many different people, so many different people that we know, so many different people that we don't know. And just even when I talk about you, there's other people that just say how much you've changed their lives and how much you have really just been an impact on them. So I just thank you for being here, man.
Thank you, bro. That means a lot.
Anytime, man. So let's talk about life right now, man. So you're on tour right now. You're all over the world. You're many different countries. You're traveling to see the Grand Canyon. You in Chicago every other week. I can't even keep up with you, man. So
Man.
what's this like right now?
I don't know. I'm growing feathers from being in the sky so long. No, it's been crazy. You know, it's definitely wear and tear on the body and mind. So keep me in your prayers. You know, just
Always.
staying physically, fit for this. But as far as just getting to experience so many different things and try my hand at a lot of different projects, meet a lot of incredible people, I never ever would have imagined that this was gonna be my life.
So you said meet a lot of incredible people. Give me two people that just shocked you.
Two people that shocked me. I mean, it shocked me to be able to talk at all to Stevie Wonder. I think her is just a brilliant, just genius, beautiful person.
I agree,
That
one
was
of my
pretty
favorite.
cool. Yeah. And that was recent. But I mean, all of them, Tori Kelly, Common, India, Kirk, everybody,
Yeah.
Music Soul Child, and the crazy thing is a lot of these people I listened to growing up and they kind of affected my music. And so to grow up and those people are the first ones to validate you, that's just crazy. So Gary LeVox from Rascal Flatts, NDRE, Music, Soul Child, Common. These are all people that literally taught me how to do music. And for them to be the first ones to be like, we see you. It's as if they see a piece of them in my music. And I just love it. That means a lot to me.
So obviously you're shocked about everything right now, and I think that's a great place to be. It sounds like you live in a state of gratitude right now.
Gratitude, but also like, yeah, shock is the best way to say it. Like, if you ask any of my family, what did you expect Jonathan to do? They would tell you computer engineering. I wanted to be a meteorologist growing up, something a lot more nerdy than standing in front of people and singing. And so I think I have a lot of those moments where I'm looking at a huge audience, where I'm looking at my team running around doing things, and I'm seeing my picture places. I'm like, who does he think he is? I don't know, who is that? And so I think sometimes it feels like I'm living somebody else's life sometimes.
So answer me this. There's been a few times we've been out in public and somebody would walk up to you and just say, oh my God, you've changed my life. Or you've done this when I was going through this sort of transition. When somebody tells you that, does it make you feel like there's a lot of pressure on you to keep that same momentum going? Or how does that feel when somebody tells you that?
I mean, I think you get a lot of emotions. You first of all, you feel appreciative. You feel honored. You feel like, oh, okay, that's what's up. That my little music did something for your life. On the second hand, you feel a little numb to it, because honestly, you tell yourself not to be too high or too low based off of what anybody else says. So if you numb yourself a little bit to the fans that say, ugh, I ain't like it, then you almost kind of numb yourself to the fans that say, you changed my life. And then past that, there probably is a little pressure. I talk to people like Kirk all the time. Hey, like, do you ever feel like you wrote your best song already and it's not gonna get any better? Like, this is it. You've already peaked. You can't come up with anything good. And without fail, they all tell me every single time, every album, they feel like that they don't know how they're gonna do any better or how they're gonna continue that. So there is a little pressure, but I think what I have learned in this music game, if you made the song ever, you've made the song forever.
Explain that a little bit.
The songs that people love me for, they will always love me for. I don't have to one-up it in their mind. They're not expecting a better song next time. No, you've already done it for them. And so that takes a little bit of the pressure off, that the impact has already been made. So as you get more and more into this, the more fun it should get, the more pressure-free it should get. And so I'm gonna have a little bit of fun on this next album, just see what works.
Is that telling us that you have something coming up pretty soon?
I'm working.
Okay.
So I'm in the phase where I'm working on things, and so we'll see.
Okay. So every journey starts with a decision.
Okay.
Have you ever felt the pressure to prove yourself?
All the time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You got to think, man, I did not expect any of this. So I wasn't the kid sitting in the mirror, with a hairbrush singing.
Mm-hmm.
That's not me.
Yeah.
I was doing this. I was I was in front of a computer screen. I was doing math problems and doing spelling bees. That's not who I've always been and what I've always wanted to do. So I think every stage has felt like just a constant transition, just constant. It's not like you're in anonymity now and now you're in celebrity. That's the transition. No, it's like this the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
It's never stopped transitioning. As soon as you're at the top of one level, you're at the bottom of another. And so every stage has been scary.
Mm. So let's talk about that a little bit. You said every time you're at the top, every time you finish the top of a level, you're at the bottom of a level, right? Mm-hmm. Tell me about the biggest transition that you had to go through, where you learned the most lessons, where you felt like you really had to dig deep and call on God to really pull you through. What was that like?
So, I would say around 2014, 2015, I started doing, I had my second record coming out. I did like a BT gospel, celebration of gospel duet with India that like went viral and everybody loved it. And now I'm starting to be noticed in places, not just Chicago or a few cities, but now just walking anywhere in the airport. And so there's a lot of transitions that you have to go through in that time. One, you realize your life is not your own anymore. Number two, you start becoming a little self-conscious about everything because people notice everything. They notice the smudge on your glasses. They notice the stain on your shirt. They notice that you sound a little different today than you did the other day. They notice everything, so it makes you very self-conscious of things. And so I think in that moment, even just watching myself on TV a couple times, I'm like, dang, I'm kind of funny looking. I didn't know I was, I thought I looked better than that. Or I thought I was shorter than that. There's just so many things that I think we all have a idea of who we are in our heads. And so then when you constantly see it plastered places and you see other people's thoughts about it, even your mannerisms and the way you carry yourself, oh, well, I think he's humble. Well, I think he's a little arrogant. Well, I think he's a little tall. Well, I think he's probably short. All those things, it's just amazing the toll that it takes on you and how you have to kind of figure yourself out and try not to do it based on what everybody else is saying.
Mm-hmm. So that was the moment where you felt like you had to redefine yourself? Is that?
I don't even know if it was redefined. I think I had to define. I think it was my first time that I really had to. And I think even how the music thing started in the first songs that I wrote, No Gray and stuff like that, that was me trying to define myself in college as a church boy who is kind of, having sex around campus. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, wait, who am I? Because I don't know. Because I was a church boy. Now I'm not necessarily acting like one. You had to define yourself. And in that moment, that definition was enough to get me through college. But then, yes, as you start to get in front of people, that definition, I wouldn't even say is a redefinition. It's just a deepening of that definition because now other things are attacked. Other things are judged. Mm-hmm. And people are going to have more opinions about those other things. So now you have to be able to speak back to it.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of reminds me, you know, and I know this is not like a Christian necessarily show, but
No,
you know,
it's whatever.
I believe in the, you know, in the Bible. I've read it so many dang on times. But there's a story where, you know, the devil is trying to tempt Jesus. You know, he's saying things, you know, why don't you just come over with me? You know, you can have all of this stuff. And the way Jesus had to respond to him was with the word. He had to give definition. He had to give his thought to respond to the offer, the accusation, the temptation. Okay, I know what you're saying, but here's what I know about me and what I know about reality. And those are things as you get older, you're going to have in your back pocket.
Mm-hmm.
People will try you.
So in 2014, was there a moment where you really had to sit down and be like, should I go back to Chicago? Should I go back to being in computer science, or should I keep pressing forward? Was there a moment?
Every day.
Every day?
Every day.
What, and is it that Bible verse that kept you going, or what really kept you going? What did you say on a day-to-day basis when you woke up in the morning? How do I keep going?
One of the things I live by is do it scared.
Mm.
Do it scared. I think in general, people always feel like we have to be ready for stuff. We got to be ready to get back to church. We got to be ready for the right woman or whatever. We got to be ready for, you know, this stage or that stage. And honestly, time never stops. I remember sitting in the airport in Atlanta, and I'm much better now, but I had really bad acne, especially at the start of my career. And I used to be like, God, why would you make me the one that gets in front of all these cameras? Like, you could have chose a whole bunch of people with smoother skin. My sister has great skin. Why did you pick her? Great skin, great teeth, great personality. She's not an introvert at all. You picked the introverted, pimple-faced, crooked teeth dude. Why'd you nerd at that? Why'd you do that? And it was in those moments, and you just have to do it. You just have to do it. And so when Bishop Morton once told me, you know, speak the truth even if your voice shakes. Basically, I don't care how scared you are. If you know that that's the truth and you know that's what you need to say it. I don't care if it's like, you have to, but I don't care if your voice is shaking. I don't care if you're trembling. I don't care if your face is in pain because of the new pimple that popped up just for BET, just for MTV.
Just do it.
It's like, just do it scared.
Just do it scared.
Do it scared.
I love that.
And so it's not like I don't think it's ever been too many like great mantras that I've just had to psych myself up. I think at the end of the day, time is moving, the opportunity's coming, the stage is set, the audience is ready. Do it. Period. Just do it. Do it scared, and know that if it is your assignment, you'll have enough for it.
How do you, what told you that it was your assignment? What does that feel like? Everybody feels like they have an assignment, but what does that feel like to you? And how can you convey that to somebody else?
There's a lot of little things.
Give me
First
three
of all, give me three. All right. First of all, it's really good when you can look back and see the genius in your path, the sovereignty there. I see. So God wanted me to be there so I could talk to them, and then they were going to. When you look back, things make a lot more sense than they might have as you were just going from step to step. And so when I think about all of the things in my life that even led me up to being here, they're all very random. I mean, you got to think, like, I made an EP in my dorm room. I gave it to my friend who was one of the guys on the EP. He played it in his car, and he was driving around his pastor. His pastor heard it and said, "Oh, I like that. Let me have that." He played it in the gym. Another pastor who's a program announcer and has a huge church heard it and said, "What is that?" And one day he woke me up to 30 missed calls of people saying they're playing your song on the radio. He wants you to call in. You know what I'm saying? And so even in the moment, I'm like, ugh, I don't feel cut out for music like that. I don't know what I'm supposed to, maybe I'm supposed to teach or something like that. When things are starting to, when you look back and be, oh yeah, that looks pretty intentional. That looks pretty storybook. I think that's one of the first things that lets you know there is purpose in the way your steps are ordered in a way. Number 2, results. You know you're in your assignment when it's being done well and you're starting to see an impact that is bigger than you. I think that's one of the, there's so many moments in music where, you know, I'm obviously being intentional. I know exactly which chords I'm playing. I know exactly what rhymes I'm supposed to have. But then there's moments, I call them God winks, where it's like, I didn't think of that. That really fits. That really fits. I did not do that on purpose. I didn't realize that these songs were in the same key. I didn't realize that there's a theme here. I didn't realize so many little things. You start to realize there is a genius operating outside of you. You have some. You're doing your job, but there's something even bigger that's kind of even using what you're using. I don't know if I have a number 3. That felt like 2 in the middle. That felt like 2. So
no, that's good.
The past, the results, and then that greater genius that is doing things without you even really realizing.
Coming up next on part 2 of True Transitions.
I'm nowhere close to the perfect man that I thought was possible. And that's another part of adulting that you definitely have to ward off.
For exclusive content, follow True Transitions on social media.
What's going on, everybody? I want to invite you to come check me out on season 1 of True Transitions. True Transitions is a show that I created to help motivate and inspire. You and Shaq living together. What was that whole dynamic like?
Him being Shaq dunking on everybody, I mean, that motivated me.
During that transition phase, what was probably the hardest thing you had to deal with?
What I've learned about myself is that I'm a fighter.
I have conversations with leaders around the world to help you reach your God-given purpose.
I wanted to be a meteorologist growing up, something a lot more nerdy. Every stage has felt like just a constant transition, just constant.
So come check me out on season 1 of True Transitions.